What's up to the members of the squad? It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, of course. Still don't have a name for this. And it's the second week. And I know I was supposed to put up stuff on Tuesday, but Tuesday and Wednesday have been hectic as all hell. Trying to get shit in order and figure out things of what I need to do. So I apologize. I'm gonna probably put it up delayed, but I want to make sure I get the wrestling joint out. Don't have a name for it, like I said, but you know, for what I'm doing every Thursday here, solely for the members of the Patreon. I broke my damn glasses. Is what? Oh no, I didn't. Did I? Yeah. Oh man, I broke my blue light glasses. I don't like that. Ah, fuck me. Anyway, I'm talking wrestling, and I want to talk more than just WWE because I know it's the big dog. I understand that's the majority of the news we're gonna always get. I get it. I'm not, oblivious to that by any stretch of the imagination. But I feel like there's so much more in the wrestling world in which we could talk about. So I want to do it, and I don't want to do it too long. I want to start off. I don't know if y'all have heard what's happening in AEW, and more so, it's not even really a promotional thing. There's a beef, and I use that term loosely, with Swerve Strickland of AEW and WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. Now, this all starts when Swerve goes and does an interview on Vlad TV, which, by the way, for those who don't know what Vlad TV is, consider yourself fortunate. But for those who do know, you know that it is a bunch of bullshit. You know that it is a very big detriment to the culture. And when I say the culture, I'm talking black culture, hip hop culture, all that together, because Vlad is a culture vulture. There's no other way to put it. And he profits off the black community. He's a culture vulture. He's along the lines of an Adam 22 and so many other academics who, even as a black dude, is still a culture vulture, et cetera, et cetera. But in the interview, Swerve talks about his interaction with Booker T to the extent where he's like, yo, fuck Booker T, he ain't shit and all this stuff. And Booker T has only done stuff to praise and uplift Swerve and say Swerve belongs where he is in the position where he is with AEW when he's former world champion. And it's been going back and forth amongst the two of them for a while now. It really hit a recent fever pitch when at the end of Dynasty, after AEW's Dynasty pay-per-view, after it went off the air, Swerve had the mic talking to the crowd. Now, there's a lot of things, a lot of y'all, for those who don't know, in the wrestling world that happens when the show ends its broadcast. So typically there'll be someone in the ring. It's pretty much a big baby face at the moment, and they will be the ones charged with sending everyone home, as it's called. They'll be the ones after the show's done. Hey, thank y'all. Had a great time. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We can't wait to come back here. Blah blah blah. Please drive safe. Have a good night. Right. Swerves did all that, talking about, he's grateful for everybody who's like, whose house, Swerve's house, everything about his, call and response. And so that's cool, but he ended it saying, before he left, fuck Booker T. That is unnecessary. First of all, you have your feelings on Booker T. We know it. It's no secret. But your job sending the crowd home is not to send the crowd home with the last thought being, damn, Swerve said that about somebody else who's not even in the company, who's not even working for them. You're supposed to send the people home with the thought of, damn, this was a great show. I enjoyed it. And this shit has gotten out of line, man. Booker barely wants to respond to it, which I respect that. Booker's 60, two-time Hall of Famer. Booker, like, my career's going well. I'm my flowers have been given. I've paved the way for you to be able to do the shit you've done in this industry, which Booker is not lying. For those who don't know, Booker T went through a bunch of bullshit in his career, from the G.I. Bro gimmick and so much more, to be able to, tread way in with black wrestlers to have things happen. Now, Swerve brought up, you let Vince McMahon call you a nigga on live TV, and I don't think Booker let anybody do anything. Vince McMahon was going to do what Vince McMahon was going to do. It's A, his company, unfortunately, at the time, and B, it's his money. So it's not like somebody else saying, hey, man, you can't do that. Because even if somebody came to Vince and said, yo, you shouldn't do that, which more than likely people did, Vince is like, it's going to get ratings. It's, things like that. And so I just don't like this shit that's going on between the two of them. I don't like this unnecessary beat the Swerve has. And then here's the thing. If you follow, I started using my X Twitter account a little bit more. And what I've come to learn, and I've heard before, is Swerve is only black and cares about representation when it's him, when it benefits him. He's not about representation in general for black pro wrestlers. Um, and I know some people can be like, why has it got to just be black pro wrestlers? It's it's wild. It's fucking wild. But I digress, man. Here's some other news I've been wanting to talk about. So I don't know if you know who Alexander Hammerstone is. He was in MLW, that's where he made a lot of big waves. He was in PCW out here. He just recently left TNA. Now there is rumors that he is going to be signed by the WWE, but this is what he's telling. He talked to Zach Haydorn of Sports Illustrated, including his departure from TNA. When TNA made it look like they were going to see a star, but this is what he said, quote, "At a certain point, perception becomes reality. I felt that the company stopped caring about me, and I wondered if I needed to approach things differently. Perhaps they were looking for something from me that I wasn't providing. However, that conversation never took place. I would have appreciated a discussion where they could say, hey, creatively, this is what we want you to do. So we need to see more of this from you. Instead, I was left wondering about my creative direction. I often saw that they seemed to have a clear path for a plan for other wrestlers, so I questioned why there wasn't clarity for me." I mean, that makes sense because you want to know, yo, what are your plans for me? You know, what do you want me to be? Where do you want me to go? You know, what do you want me to do? Like a lot of people say, well, wrestlers find their own creative ways and things like that. Yeah, but you need to have some semblance of an idea of where you want to be. You need to have some semblance of that. And so it really is a thing of everyone needs to communicate, but it doesn't happen often. So check this out. This is something that I just found out. So Steven Spielberg's next movie that he's filming is going to include a scene set at a pro wrestling event featuring real wrestlers as part of the production. It mentions the scenes were filmed already in Long Island, New York, several weeks ago, with Chavo Guerrero over there to oversee the wrestling stunts. Which now for Hollywood, there's a lot of pro wrestling stuff. Chavo Guerrero is the man to go to. They say Brian Cage is one of the wrestlers, and no one knows about the movie's plot. And it's confirmed the characters will include that they will attend the wrestling event. But it's dope how pro wrestling can open the door for so many things. I say that as a pro wrestler, former, if you will, myself. I would love to be in the wrestling end of when it comes to films, but of course, back shit and all those different things. So yeah, man, that's so dope to hear. With that, what else? So I don't know if y'all have paid attention. Wait, what? What? So Brock was supposedly at a comedy show. Now, okay, Brock Lesnar. Now, reports are he won't be brought back to WWE anytime soon. But he was at. Oh shit! Yeah, he was at a regular comedy show. They don't even say who's. The crazy part is they don't even put who it is, whose show he's at. But Brock looks in great shape. Yeah, I think the craziest part of Brock coming out. Brock being seen at a stand-up comedy show. I didn't know Brock knew how to really laugh. I didn't know. I didn't know. All right. Well, there's a lot more going on. I'm looking at a lot of different things, and it's just a lot of crazy shit. MLW is starting. They did their big event this past week in Long Beach, and there's a big rumble they had, and Paul Walter Hauser was a part of it. Yeah, he shouts out to Paul Walter Hauser, good dude. I love he's having his moment in pro wrestling, but that's what happens when you have your career going the way you want it to go. So now you can tend to do whatever you can do what your passion is, and his passion is pro wrestling. But also Rob Van Dam made a return to the ring, and just being part of the Rumble, he didn't have to do much work, but to see Rob Van Dam was dope for everybody. But I'm gonna keep doing these things weekly. Like I said, Tuesday I do my other nerd news. It's outside of just normal Marvel and DC TV shows and movie shit. Thursday here we're talking pro wrestling. This is solely for the Patreon. I gotta find I said I was gonna put up my pro wrestling matches. I gotta find them. This got it about between thumb drives, hard drives, different computers and stuff like that. But we're gonna get that together. Appreciate y'all being members of the squad.